Is solo skydiving on your bucket list? Then you are in the right place. My name is Shweta Parmar, and today I am your guide into the thrilling world of solo skydiving. But you might be thinking, why should I trust what I'm about to hear in this video? It's a legitimate doubt, isn't it? Well, here's why. I have been there, I have done it, and I've fallen in love with the blue skies. As of February 2024, with over 290 jumps under my belt, I'm not just another vlogger on the internet. I am your fellow adventurer, your guide, and your friend on this incredible journey. My passion for solo skydiving has taken me to the skies of Spain, Dubai, Russia, India, and Thailand. I am the fourth licensed civilian woman skydiver in India and the first woman skydiver from Gujarat. I did my fair contribution by doing the Jai Shri Ram flag jump as well. I have even taken a leap from 8,000 feet in a hot air balloon in Russia. But it's not just about the jumps, it's about the incredible journey, the team spirit, and the sheer joy of defying gravity. So, if you are ready to embark on the ultimate adventure of solo skydiving, stick with me through this video. I will be your source of knowledge, your buddy for doubts, and your motivator to take that leap in the world of solo skydiving. And guess what? I am gearing up for my next big solo skydiving trip too. If you want to join me on more thrilling adventures and learn everything about solo skydiving, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. You wouldn't want to miss out on the upcoming videos. In the next few minutes, we are diving deep into everything you need to know, from the costs and safety aspects to getting you fully prepared, both physically and mentally, for this incredible journey. But before we get into all the exciting details, here's a sneak peek at what we will be discussing. We will be discussing how to become a solo skydiver, breaking down the cost, what to expect on a typical day in Russia, my passion and experience, what is exactly the Skydive India campaign, all the other frequently asked questions, and how to become part of Skydive India campaign and travel with me. Now you might be wondering, how can I become a solo skydiver? Well, here is the scoop. As of last update in February 2024, there are no skydiving schools in India. But don't let this stop you. You have incredible options abroad. Think Thailand, Spain, Abu Dhabi, or even budget friendly choices like Russia and South Africa. And here is the best part, you don't have to do it alone. I have organized multiple solo skydiving trips and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Want to know which destination suits you best for your first solo skydiving experience? Subscribe to my channel for in-depth guides on each location and insider tips to make the most out of your adventure. Back to basics. How can you become a solo skydiver? Now, you might be wondering how one goes from being a complete novice to a certified solo skydiver. That's where the Accelerated Free Fall program comes in. AFF is a structured and comprehensive skydiving course consisting of 7 levels that introduce you to the exhilarating world of solo skydiving. It's administered through the United States Parachute Association (USPA), gold standard in skydiving. As part of the AFF program, you will receive thorough ground school training covering everything from free fall body position to canopy control and safety routines. It's designed to equip you with the necessary skills to become a licensed skydiver. Let's call AFF your learner driving license. Once you have completed the AFF course, that is 7 levels typically finished in 7 jumps, and accumulated a total of 25 jumps under the direct supervision of a USPA instructor, you will be eligible for the USPA skydiving license. USPA license signifies that you have met specific requirements to participate safely and proficiently in solo skydiving activities. This license also allows you to jump with other licensed skydivers like me. Now, I will be discussing AFF levels and USPA license requirements in detail. If you already know, you can skip this part as I have discussed breakdown of the costs in next section. Now I have a very important note. I am explaining these levels in a simplified way. I might skip a few jargons and procedures as they might be too much information for beginners. This is for educational purpose only so that you can make your decision about solo skydiving. Let's understand AFF program. Accelerated Freefall AFF program consists of FGC, First Jump Course, also known as Ground School, and category, that is CAT A, B, C, D1, D2, even A2. Now we will understand what Ground School, that is FGC, First Jump Course, means. In First Jump Course, also known as Ground School, you will get necessary ground training before your first jump. The training typically covers the basics of equipment you will use, body positioning, parachute deployment, and emergency procedures. You will learn how to exit the aircraft, maintain stability during free fall, and deploy your own parachute. This comprehensive first jump course typically takes about 6 to 8 hours. I hope all of you remember this video from Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Here they are practicing basic body position, and it's difficult for sure. These are some experts doing some maneuvers. This is they are playing around, nothing else. This is what we call emergency procedures. You are trained to handle all the emergencies that can happen with your parachute. This is what we call cutaway procedure. Procedure to open your reserve parachute. When you have some issues with your main parachute, you are taught to open your reserve parachute. Yes, Hrithik Roshan did it really well. Now all of you know what it is, right? Signing the form. It's important, and all drop zones, that is all skydiving schools, have this. And no, you can't drink beer during your skydiving lessons. After you learn the basics of skydiving during your ground school, it is time for your first jump. So let's understand categories. AFF Category A, your first skydive. We also call it CAT A. On your first jump, you can expect to jump from an altitude of 13,000 feet to 15,000 feet, depends on your skydiving school. You will start with something called briefing. First, they will brief you about jumps and you practice things on the ground. However, there are three ways I have seen this level being conducted at different schools. In Skydive Dubai, you don't need to do tandem jump. You can definitely go with two instructors holding you side by side. In Drop Zone Thailand, I have seen something called Tandem Level 0 plus Category A. So they will take you for tandem jump before you actually go with two instructors. So they will make you do AFF Level 0 and let's call it AFF Tandem Jump, and then actual AFF Category A with two instructors will be done. Now in Russia, you will do AFF Tandem Jump as a part of Category A. So if you are doing it in Skydive Dubai, this will be your Category A. If you are doing it in Krutitsy, Russia, this will be your Category A. If you are doing in Thailand, definitely this will be called as your Category A. But before doing this, they will make you do this. That is tandem jump. According to USPA, any one of this method can be used for CAT A. Be it any method, your tandem instructor or AFF instructor wants to know if you can follow hand signals to adjust your body position. Check your altimeter on time and practice deploying your parachute before deploying it for real. Now let's see how it looks. This is official video by USP. As you can see, two instructors are holding you. They jumped, adjusting. This is view from inside the plane. Same thing, they are holding you. You are giving them signals. You jumped. Now you will start with something called circle of awareness. Your instructors will show you some hand signals and you need to practice your deployment. Then again, circle of awareness, that is checking your instructors for signs. You keep looking at your altimeter. And when it's time to open, you wave off and deploy. You will learn actual things. This is just for educational purpose. So I'm not telling you everything here. Next is debriefing. After you finish this jump, one of your instructors will debrief you on the jump and help you analyze the video footage of your jump, providing constructive feedback. And if you progress well, your instructors are happy with your progress, you will be ready to move to AFF level 2. That is category B. AFF category B. I'll call it refine your body position. This skydive is almost identical to the AFF level 1 category A skydive. You'll start with briefing. First, they will brief you about jumps and you practice things on the ground. Then the actual jump will happen. This is a chance to practice the same procedures again, only this time you will know what free fall feels like before because you did one jump. If the instructors are confident you are relatively stable in the air, one of them may release you for a little while and then take hold of you again to watch you deploy your parachute. Let's see official video. Again, instructor is holding you, you taking position, you giving signals, you jump, staying stable. This is your inside view. Instructor holding you. Okay. And you jump. Circle of awareness. Now you are practicing your deployment again. This is something you will learn during your briefing. They'll teach you everything and make you practice on the ground. Now at the right altitude, you wave off and you open your parachute. Once you are done with this jump, they will debrief. So your instructor will go. Your instructor will examine the video with you and provide you with constructive feedback. Assuming they are happy with your progress, you will then be debriefed for AFF level T. AFF level 3, that is category C. Now, category C will start with briefing. First, they will brief you about jumps and you practice things on the ground. Actual jump, this skydive contains similar routines to those on AFF category A and category B skydive, but additionally, both instructors will release you from their grip to see how well you maintain heading and stability. You won't realize that they have left you. This will be the first time you are in free fall with no one holding on to you. Same, you're taking position, giving signals, and you jump. Same view from inside. You are doing circle of awareness, that is looking at your instructors to see the signals and make corrections. Perfect, perfect. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Now both the instructors have left you and they are checking your stability. Remember, this is the most difficult level for AFF. Perfect. You keep looking at your altimeter. Staying aware out altitude is important, and at right altitude, you open your parachute. After the jump, your instructor will examine the video with you and provide you with constructive feedback. Assuming they are happy with your progress, you will then be briefed for AFF category D1 and you will continue to learn to skydive. Let's check the video of next category. Category D1. During this category, you will practice 90-degree and 180-degree turns. Now you observe your spot along with instructor. As you can see, now you are jumping with only one instructor. Circle of awareness, checking instructor signs. All of this you have practiced on the ground before you actually go for real jump. At the right altitude, you will wave off and pull your parachute. After the jump, your instructor will watch this video with you and provide you with constructive feedbacks. After the jump, your instructor will examine the video with you and provide you with constructive feedback. Assuming they are happy with your progress, you will then be briefed for AFF category D2. D2 is similar, and here you will be practicing 180 and 360-degree turns. Let's watch the video. They'll brief you on the ground about this. You'll be practicing everything on the ground before you make actual jump. Again, in category D2, you have one instructor only. Based on your instructor's confidence, he'll decide if he wants to hold you or not hold you. You take permission, start taking 180-degree turns. It's okay if it's not complete 180-degree turn. So if you have access to wind tunnel, you can practice these things in wind tunnel and get confidence. At right altitude, you open your parachute. After this jump, you will be doing debriefing. Your instructor will watch the video with you, provide you with the feedback. Assuming they are happy with your progress, you will then be briefed for AF category E1. Now, I'll say that AFF category E1 is more about gaining confidence in your own stability. Remember, they'll brief you about this jump on the ground. You'll practice everything on ground before the actual jump. Let's see how the actual jump looks. Assist with spot means you observe the landing area, or what we call is runway, before the jump. You exit everything. All of this thing, they'll make you practice on the ground. You're checking your altitude, and you are ready to lose your stability, and we call this something as barrel roll. So you lose your stability and come back, become stable again. So again, check altitude, wave off at the right time, and then you deploy your parachute. After the jump, your instructor will watch the video with you and provide you with constructive feedback. Assuming they are happy with your progression, they'll shift you to the next level. Putting it all together, everything that you learned, and then checking your stability. So let's see how it happens. They'll do the briefing before the jump. You're checking where the runway is. You exit. Remember, in category E2, your instructor is not supposed to hold you, because if you clear category E2, next you will be doing solo jumps. I have seen that during category E2, if your instructor holds you or corrects your position, they will not clear your AFF. So E2, you're losing your stability and gaining your stability again. And after gaining your stability, you do everything right as they have taught you. And let's hope that you clear the level. After the jump, You will do debrief, your instructor will watch the video with you and provide you with constructive feedback. Assuming they are happy with your progress, he will tell you, congratulations, you have completed your AFF. After all the categories, let's understand what exactly is a repeat jump. Remember, this is for educational purpose only. I am discussing a certain part of category D here, and we will be doing this in two parts, that is category D1 and D2. Category D overall is a very big category, and thus the reason is divided between two parts. Now you have seen this video, but we'll watch again. This is category D1. You can see it was not solo exit but stable within 5 seconds. Next you can see he's stable. He started taking 90-degree turn. He did one turn. Then he did second turn. He came back. And now he'll start his 180-degree turn. He did finished 180-degree turn. And then he came back. He's checking everything. Altimeter done. And wave off. This is how your category D1 is supposed to look. But let's say what this actual jump looks like. This is the video I took from YouTube. You can see similar exit. Okay. Instructor gave thumbs up. Okay. Now instructor left him. When instructor left, he started automatically taking turns. Okay. Again, if you notice that student is making unintended turns. Now do you think he did any of the intended turns, like any 90-degree turns or 180-degree turns, with the intention of doing turns? Now, if your jump goes like this, do your instructor needs to tell you that you failed this jump? I don't think so. You already knew what will be your task. You already knew that you need to do 90-degree turns and 180-degree turns, but you couldn't do any of them. That means you need to jump again and repeat your category D1. This is exactly what category D1 repeat means. At the same time, you need to pay extra when you do repeat jumps. So if you repeat your D1 category, you need to pay extra for that particular jump. Now let's understand the concept of wind tunnel. This is in perspective of the same category D1. In this video, the student is learning taking turns in an indoor wind tunnel. Most benefit of wind tunnel is you don't have adrenaline rush. You have little bit of, but not as much as skydiving. So you can process information and you can practice all the things in the wind tunnel. Your instructor is able to guide you. He's able to give you all the signals and he's able to make turns. Again, he did some unintentional turn, but here he has enough chance to correct all the mistakes he's doing. This is exact reason all of us recommend wind tunnel. Not all the skydiving places, that is not all the skydiving schools has this facility available nearby them. Some places have in the same city, but you have to travel. The lucky part about Russia is that I am taking the next trip, we have all the facilities in a walking distance. So your stay, your skydiving school and your wind tunnel will be at the walking distance. So if you are not able to perform a certain task, you can go to wind tunnel and practice that task. So you go to wind tunnel and you practice that task. Repeat jumps cost you extra money. Each skydiving school will have a different price for repeat jumps. So before you book your skydiving school, you need to check with them about repeat jump cost. At some drop zones, we have level 8, solo jump and survive. If you survive solo jump, you can get your certificates. Just kidding. So congratulations, you have gained knowledge on AFF course as it is conducted in USP affiliated skydiving schools. Curious about what happens during each level of AFF program and how you can progress from a novice to a certified solo skydiver, hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for our step-by-step breakdown. Let's talk about USP A license now. After finishing your AFF course, you can do solo jumps. However, you can also jump with other licensed skydivers. If you want to jump with someone like me, you must have A license, which requires you to finish 25 jumps at least. So apart from obtaining your AFF certificate, you need to do the following things to get your USPA A license. 7 AFF jumps that you already did, 11 solo consolidation jumps, 4 code jumps, that is category F, G and H, 2 hop and pop jumps, 1 checkout dive, that will be your USPA A license exam dive, and then packing course. Let's understand code jumps, hop and pop jumps, consolidation jumps and checkout dives individually. Code jumps. A code jump is any jump where a USPA coach or instructor jumps with skydiver and provides instruction and or critique to that skydiver. For a USPA A license, you are required to do 3 or 4 code jumps. This will be called category F, G and H. So, these code jumps teach you group fall skills which includes tracking, fast fall and slow fall. Tracking is a basic group skydiving skill that enables jumpers to gain sufficient free fall separation for a safe opening. Forward and backward movement which helps in docking and holding other skydivers in free fall. You also learn fast fall and slow fall relative to your fellow skydiver. All of these skills help you become a safer licensed skydiver. Remember, you do 3 to 4 jumps to learn all these skills. Hop and pop is a term for skydivers and it literally means to hop out of the plane and pop your parachute right away. To get a skydiving license, hop and pops are required to practice for emergency exits due to aircraft malfunction. Don't worry, everyone does it. Instead of jumping from 13,000 to 15,000 feet, we jump from 5,500 to 3,500 feet. Next is solo consolidation jumps. Once you have graduated from your AFF course, you are still officially a student, being supervised by an instructor. During the next jumps which you will do on your own, you will practice things that you learned as a part of your AFF course or in your fourth job. After that, checkout dive or COD. Believe me, once you reach this level, you will know what to do. But let's say it is your practical exam to test everything that you have learned until now. You spot that you learned during your AFF program. Next is comfortable exit. Before this jump, you have been briefed about what you need to do in this jump. You learn to take 360 turns during your AFF. Next is back loop that you learn during your category A1, A2. Move forward and dock. These skills you learn during your code jumps. Even the tracking part you learn with your coach. Packing course. You learn to pack your own parachute. Yes, you heard that right. At some skydiving schools, you pack your own parachute, that is your main parachute, and you jump with your own packing to pass this course. To summarize, you need to do at least 7 AFF jumps, at least 3 code jumps, 1 checkout dive, which is your practical exam, 2 hop and pop jumps, and rest consolidation jumps, solo jumps to complete 25 jumps. Now, sometimes individuals do fail AFF levels and that is counted in your total jumps. So consolidation jumps varies based on how many AFF repeat jumps you did. In my case, I did 12 jumps to finish my AFF. So I had to do less consolidation jumps to finish my A license. You need to finish the packing course where you learn to pack your own parachute, and you need to pass the written exam. After that, you have your USPA license. Now let's talk about the next important thing, breaking down the cost. But if you still have doubts, don't worry. If you apply for my invite-only solo skydiving trip, we will discuss deeper into these prerequisites, ensuring you are fully prepared for your solo skydiving adventure. Breaking down the cost. Now that you are getting a clear picture of what it takes to become a solo skydiver, let's talk about one of the key aspects everyone's curious about, the cost. The cost of obtaining your USPA license can vary depending on several factors. It typically includes instructions, jumps, and other fees associated with training program. However, it's important to note that this fee doesn't cover your travel, accommodation, meals, or other expenses. But as Indian, we need to take care of this cost in consideration as well, because we don't have any in-house skydiving school in India. So you might be wondering how much you should budget for this thrilling journey. Well, here is a rough estimate of different places of USPA license. Russia, 1,88,000 rubles, that is equivalent to 2,10,000. And the total expense, that is including your flight tickets and everything, visa, stay, food, it can come around 3,60,000. In this side of the line is the minimum expense. I haven't considered your repeat jump cost or extra wind tunnel training required cost in this part. Thailand, it will take you, the official fee of just course is 3,70,000 and this is 4,60,000. This Thailand, we are talking about drop zone Thailand. In Dubai, I'm talking about Skydive Dubai. This is the cost. Abu Dhabi, this is the cost. Spain, this is the cost. Keep in mind that these are estimates and prices can vary based on location and specific skydiving school. But remember, this is an investment in yourself and unforgettable adventure that you will cherish forever. Typically, when factoring in the total expenses for solo skydiving, including skydiving fees, travel, visa, accommodation, meals, and other expenses, the total cost can reach up to 4 lakh rupees in Russia, 5 lakh rupees in Thailand, Spain, and Abu Dhabi, and 6 lakh rupees in Dubai. But it can be more than this. Rest assured, we will dive deeper into the specifics during our journey together, and I'll guide you on making the most of your budget. If you are planning your budget for unforgettable solo skydiving journey, subscribe now for upcoming videos where we will dive deeper into cost-saving strategies, budgeting tips, and exclusive deals to make your dream adventure a reality. Next is solo skydiving in Russia. Is it safe to travel during sanctions? Why Russia for solo skydiving? As you've seen in the cost, before deciding on Russia, I compared prices of different drop zone schools with ones in Spain, Dubai, and Thailand. These are the places I have been to. So there might be other skydiving schools that you find cheaper, but I haven't been to those places, and that's the reason I don't recommend those places. I recommend places where I have been, I have jumped, and I know the teams and how they work. Overall, Russia came out as an affordable option. This will be my 4th year in Russia. Is it safe to travel right now? This is the question I get most of the time. Right now, you might be thinking about current situation in Russia. But I stayed 2 months in 2022 and 1 month in 2023 in the same situation. That's how I am able to confidently organize this trip second time. Remember, Russia is a big country and I'll be traveling with you. Special mention. I don't offer package deals, so you pay as you spend and you won't be giving the entire money upfront to me. As of February 2024, I don't accept any money in my bank account. I don't charge anything for my professional services and I travel at my own expenses. My previous group trips under Skydive India campaign. In February 2023, we took our first adventure to solo skydiving in Thailand as a group and it was incredible. 6 participants joined the Skydive India campaign initiative from different parts of India. 5 of them earned their USPA license after just 25 jumps, and 3 of them even achieved their USPA B license after completing 50 jumps, all in Thailand. In July 2023, we ventured to Russia with 16 amazing students. 12 of them successfully completed their AFF course and 2 earned their USPA A license after completing 25 jumps. In December 2023, we went to Thailand with 6 amazing students. 4 of them successfully completed their AFF course. Excited to see what happens with Skydiving India campaign? Then you need to stay connected by subscribing. Stay connected by subscribing to my channel. You will get exclusive access to behind-the-scenes footage, participants' testimonials, and highlights from our epic adventures. Now we'll be discussing detailed itinerary for solo skydiving trip to Russia. You might wonder what a typical day on our solo skydiving trip looks like. Well, during our usual Russia trip, we stay a night in Moscow hostel, travel to skydiving school via taxi the next day, and learn, stay, eat at the drop zone for the next 18 days. Here's a detailed itinerary for a solo skydiving trip to Russia. First day is arrival and meeting your group. Arrival in Moscow and check into your booked hostel. Spend the night getting comfortable and exploring the surrounding. Relax and prepare for the thrilling adventures ahead. Day 2, currency exchange and traveling to skydiving school. As of Feb 2024, due to sanctions, you can't use your debit and credit cards in Russia. So we bring USD from India because getting rubles in India turns out very expensive. We wake up and visit the pre-decided bank based on which bank provides the best exchange rates. We visit that bank to convert USD to rubles. I usually recommend exchanging 3,500 USD and keeping 500 USD cash for backup. By 12 p.m., you should get done with all the exchange process and we'll head to hostel for checkout. Eat your lunch and be ready for the arrival of your taxi by 1:30 p.m. Arrive at your skydiving school by 8 p.m. and check into your booked hostels. Day 3, skydiving school. 8 a.m. check-in at the reception office and complete necessary paperwork. Payment, arrange payments according to your selected packages. Join the AFF's classroom for the syllabus and initiate the ground school session. As explained earlier, ground school session can last 5 to 6 hours. At Krutitsi, it will be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Your skydiving school will be at a secure place which has all required amenities. Watch the beautiful sunset that happens around 8:30 or 9 p.m. Eat dinner and revise everything that you have learned for the next day. Day 4. Start of skydiving journey based on weather. Before 7:30 or 8 a.m., meet up with instructors every morning. They will quickly talk to you and help you practice what to do in emergencies before every jump. Get ready for your AFF tandem jump. It will be considered as your category A. Before every jump, you will be briefed about the jump, and after every jump, you will be debriefed about the jump. Evening relax. Day 5 to 9. Mastering AFF categories B to E. 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. meet up with your instructors every morning. They'll quickly talk to you and help you practice what to do in emergencies before each jump. Between day 5 and day 9, depending on the weather, you will move through different levels from category B to category E1, E2, getting better at skydiving and gaining more experience. Day 10 to 20. A license progression. Initiate solo jumps and start the A license course. You will need to complete a total of 25 jumps, including 11 solo jumps. Engage in a coach jumps to learn essential skills for jumping with licensed skydiver. Fulfill A license requirements, including a packing course and hop and pop jumps, leading to your checkout dive as a practical exam. These schedules are prepared while keeping flexible buffer days. Allow flexibility for unseen weather conditions or any scheduled adjustments. Day 21, checkout and departure. Departure day for your return journey. Hopefully you get back to India with your USPA license. Please note, this itinerary is designed under ideal weather conditions. Weather plays a crucial role in skydiving, and adverse conditions may affect the scheduled jumps for safety reasons. Adjustments might be necessary due to windy or cloudy weather. Due to weather conditions, you might not be able to finish your A license within 25 days. Next, we need to discuss Skydive India campaign. Before I tell you how you can join solo skydiving trip to Russia, I started an initiative called Skydive India campaign. The Skydive India campaign is not just a campaign, but a movement to inspire people to pursue their passions fearlessly. It aims to help 100 people obtain their skydiving license for solo skydiving in foreign countries, with the hope of eventually establishing similar skydiving schools in India. The Skydive India campaign is a revolutionary initiative aimed at promoting the sport of skydiving in India. Skydiving is a thrilling sport that requires skills, courage, and determination. However, skydiving schools and facilities are not available in India, making it difficult for people to train and pursue their passion for the sport. The Skydive India campaign seeks to address this gap by training 100 individuals to obtain their skydiving license for solo skydiving in foreign countries. Why Skydive India campaign? When I started skydiving, I was one of the few women in India doing it. But now, more and more people are showing interest in the sport. My aim with the Skydive India campaign is to train as many as 100 people and help them obtain their skydiving license. I also hope that we can eventually have similar skydiving schools in India. But you should know the reason why I started this campaign. There was a lot of misinformation about this sport and how to start learning. Even today, if you Google, you might find 10 places in India that offer skydiving. However, even the major media houses don't have time to verify those places. Most of the places have been closed down years ago. Now, we only have one skydiving place named Sky High India, and as of February 2024, they don't offer the AFF program. Also, there were a few agents who were taking advantage of lack of correct information. So I decided to share the right information using social media. To vet out serious aspiring skydivers, I introduced something called the Give and Gain SIC donation. Each student gives a rupees 10,000 donation to an NGO to gain my professional services. Your donation can go towards an NGO that I support or NGO that you support. In return, I'll travel with you at my own expenses. I'll pay for my own flight tickets, visa, stay, food and transportation. Full transparency is my motto. Excited to see what's possible with Skydive India campaign? Then stay connected by subscribing to my channel and support me. You will get exclusive access to behind-the-scenes footages and highlights of my peak adventure. Now, this is the most important sections, like most frequently asked questions. I have never jumped. Is the tandem skydive the first jump? Without any previous experience, you can start your AFF course right away. The course is designed for beginners and you will be taught all the necessary requirements in ground school prior to jumping in order to feel secure and confident about your first jump. Do I need to see a doctor and bring a medical certificate? If you have any medical problems, you must. But if you don't have, you are not required to. If you think you are fit, you can do it. Are there any age or weight restrictions for the course? This criteria varies from school to school. Yes, age should be 18 plus and weight should be under 19 kgs. But again, it's better that you contact skydiving schools directly. What do I need to bring for skydiving? You will be provided with all necessary rental skydiving materials, including jumpsuit, helmet, goggles, altimeters. Please make sure to bring comfortable and supportive clothing and shoes. If you wear glasses, bring your sporting glasses or lenses. If needed, you can wear your glasses during the jump. They can provide you with skydiving goggles to wear on top of your own glasses. Why Russia for skydiving? I already answered. It's one of the most affordable skydiving school. Will I be traveling with you on this? Yes. I will be available to guide you at each and every step. Also, I won't be charging you anything for my flight tickets, visa, stay, food and transfer. I can take care of my own expenses. Can you do office work during the training? Yes, you will be getting plenty of time to work during your training. Drop zones and stay will have working Wi-Fi along with good space to work. Will I get refund if I decide to suddenly discontinue the course? Yes, depends on your skydiving school. In Russia, all the money that you didn't use will be refunded. What altitude will you be jumping from in Russia? 14,000 feet. Can you wear glasses when skydiving? Yes, you can either wear glasses or contacts. I have done jumps with wearing glasses and most of my jumps are with contact lenses. Can you bring your own camera? Yes. For the ground shooting, yes. But the United States Parachute Association recommends that all jumpers carrying their own camera have 200 skydives or more. So you can't jump with your own camera before you complete 200 jumps. I hope this answers most of your FAQs. So here's the deal. If you're passionate about skydiving and ready for this incredible journey, it's time to secure your spot. Visit the given link in the description and apply to get your invite. This is an invite-only group trip. I'm committed to making this accessible for you, but you need to participate in the Give and Gain SIC donation. Each student contributes rupees 10,000 towards the Give and Gain SIC initiative, where you donate rupees 10,000 towards an NGO that I support or NGO that you support. Nothing is hidden. When you become part of Skydive India campaign, full transparency is my motto. Now, if you are ready to dive into this adventure with me, just follow the steps on our website to apply for a special invite. We will chat one-on-one and once confirmed, secure your spot with the donation. It will be based on first come and first serve basis. Do hit that subscribe button and let's embark on this epic journey together. This is my website name. Here you can do apply now and there will be a Google form you need to fill it if you want to apply for invite only group trip. Share, like and follow. I hope this helped, and if it helped, don't forget to share.